Here in Tampa, Florida, covering the GOP convention here with Alex Schriver, who is the head of the College National Republican Committee. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Good to be with you.
Talk to me about the enthusiasm between 2008 college students and 2012 college students. Anecdotally, it seems to me that on college campuses, Barack Obama isn't as exciting as he was back then, and maybe Romney Ryan is becoming, taking that place.
Right. Well, there's a difference in candidate Obama and President Obama. Right. And unfortunately for the man in the White House, there is enthusiasm on college campuses, just not for their guy. In 2008, young voters came out overwhelmingly for Barack Obama. They voted 2-1, 66-32. Republicans lost the youth vote. But they're sitting here 3.5 years later, not better off. $15 trillion in national debt, $1 trillion in student loan debt, 16% youth unemployment. These are real statistics that young people are waking up to every morning, realizing it's a tough time to be a young person in this country. It's not just a bad time, it's a historically bad time. If you look at the last 60, 70 years of what it means to get into the workforce after college. And so young people are open to the Romney Ryan ticket, they're excited by the candidacy, they're brought to the table, and I think after this week and hearing our messaging of what we want to do for young people, they're willing to come out and vote Republican this November.
Alex, I would venture to say that the most famous college student in terms of politics is Sandra Fluke. And her message, of course, is she has her message, and it's obviously very popular amongst certain circles. But how do you get young women on this side of the aisle to be as excited, and how do you get, who's the anti-Sandra Fluke, and how do you get that message across?
So Sandra Fluke's message is really the message of all Democrats, right? It's a message of distraction. And they'd rather talk about any issue, whether it's dogs on roof or tax returns, than talking about big ideas. Okay, that's what our campaign is about, big ideas and big solutions. And at the end of the day, 3/4 of young people's number one issue are jobs and the economy. So the media wants to paint a myth that young people are single issue voters. They care about same-sex marriage. They care about birth control and issues like that. The fact of the matter is, our party wins on the issue that 74% of young people are voting on, jobs and the economy. The same issue that seniors are voting on, the same issue that minority populations are voting on, and we win on that issue. And all we have to do the next 71 days is get that message out to college campuses, whether it's through a surrogate, whether it's through Congressman Ryan, through Governor Romney, and we're going to do just that. We've got 1,800 college Republican chapters around the country every day battling the distraction that they put out there like Sandra Fluke.
Alex, you talk about battling the distraction of Sandra Fluke and what the DNC and the Democrats put out, but I just imagine college Republicans battling every day professors, administrations. When you look at some of the overwhelming liberal agendas on college campuses, it seems to be an uphill battle sometimes, and you must have to talk a lot of people off the ledge, every once in a while. Just they just go crazy with the liberal bias.
That's exactly right. This president spends 1 out of every 12 days on a college campus. His staff spend 1 out of every 3 days on a college campus. They're safe havens. They're the last liberal bastions in this country, America's colleges and universities. And we're up every day fighting professors, fighting administrations, trying to push back against these leftist institutions and what they're indoctrinating our children with in our classroom, my peers, and what we're being taught on college campuses, and letting them know that there is an alternative. There's another side to the story.
What is your overall advice for someone who's facing so much differences? When you have hostility in a classroom, college is supposed to be the marketplace of ideas, right. And they're not. They're usually the marketplace of one idea pushed, and if you dare question them, you could sometimes be retaliated against grade-wise. What do you say to fight to help these college Republicans, these college students, even independents, fight against that?
I say all the time, our generation is the most blessed because of our access to information. At the touch of a few fingers, through BlackBerries and iPhones, we can research the candidates, research policies. So my advice to young people is get involved. Investigate the issues, and I'm confident that if they do, they'll come to our side, they'll vote for our candidates. And so we have all this information through social media, through Google, through online, and we need to make sure we're taking advantage of it to educate young people about the two differences. We have 2 different candidates. We have 2 different parties. Let's talk about that and celebrate that and educate young people on the choice they have this November.
Young women traditionally, vote Democrat. How do you fight that stereotype, and how do you grab those young women back, to this side of the aisle?
There's statistics that show that this economy is really detrimental long term, right? So because young people can't get jobs, they can't pay student loans back, they're putting off major life decisions like getting married, having children. Obviously, those are decisions that are shared by women. And so I think our message to young women is, if you want to get out there and start your own life, whether it's starting a career or starting a family, our party is offering solutions and ideas to get people back to work so that you can get on with your life, so that you're not burdened by living at home with your parents, by paying back student loan debt. And that's the message that they're open to hearing, not these distractions that you're seeing from Chicago.
But you say burdened by living at home. The Obama administration thinks you should live at home till you're 26 and be under your parents' insurance until you're 26. It seems like the rugged individualism is gone. The desire to get the heck out of the house and not come back is gone. How do you fight some of that laziness? Some young people are just lazy and they want to take advantage and go back home and sleep on their parents' couch. But the Obama administration has seemed to foster that, parental, maternal, paternal mentality.
So unfortunately for the Obama administration, young people are actually going the opposite direction of this idea of the individual, to what they want to preach. And so our generation actually has the lowest age that we believe you should be independent, about 23 years old. And if you ask other generations, they think maybe 25 or 26, 27. Young people are grasping to be independent. But the Obama administration, through healthcare reform, through student loan reform, is doing exactly what the Democratic Party stands for, right? It's living off of the dole of somebody else. And so many times that's the dole of the government, or in the case, the dole of your parents. And so I think young people do have this fire to be independent, and we can really tap into that entrepreneurial spirit that young people have, and especially minorities. I think it's 55% of young people are interested in starting a business. That number goes up when talking to young African American and young Hispanics.
Well, when you tell those anybody who starts their own business, when you tell them they didn't build their own business, that's a built-in advantage for this side of the aisle.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about it the next 2 months.
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to find out more about the CRNC, where do they go?
Go to www.crnc.org. Looking forward to a great convention, and we'll see you at Victory in November.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.